I do stuff is just for my mom to have fun. But for my sister, who's an architect, she never listened to me playing clarinet. But this one is like, oh my God, this is so fun. Like, if that was happening, that was great for me, because the whole point is to reach those who are not classical musicians. So we attract.
It is February 15th, 2021, and you are listening to episode 30 of the Candid Clarinetist podcast. What's going on, everybody? Sam Rothstein here, acting principal clarinet with the Indianapolis Symphony Orchestra and host of the Candid Clarinetist podcast. Make sure to check out our newest YouTube video on our YouTube channel, where I give some helpful hints with reads that I have discovered over the years. You can check it out at youtube.com/c/thecandidclarinetist or via our website, candidclarinetistpodcast.com. Please be sure to subscribe to the channel and ring the bell so that you get notifications every time we post a new video. Edgar Lopez is joining us on the podcast today. I first found out about Edgar from some mutual friends because of his involvement with the Clarinet Maestro Festival, as he is a faculty member there. For those of you who have not yet heard of the Clarinet Maestro Festival, I highly recommend you check it out on Instagram or their website, clarinetmaistrofestival.org. It's a great new festival started by Benjamin Adler, who is an alumni of the Colburn School and the USC School of Music. And every faculty member has studied with Yehuda Gilad there, and it's just a great place to learn and get better at clarinet. And Edgar is one of the faculty members there. I started following Edgar shortly thereafter on his Instagram, and in addition to his incredible accomplishments as a clarinetist, he has also had some really amazing videos that he started posting on TikTok and Instagram Reels. So I wanted to invite him on to talk about his journey with TikTok and Instagram, and to find out some more of his inspiration behind where he gets his creative ideas. So it's a really great pleasure to have you, Edgar. I'm really happy that you're here.
Well, thank you very much for the invitation, Sam. I have heard of your podcast, and then it's very cool that more clarinetists, more musical, classical music instrumentalists are doing this kind of stuff. So I'm very happy you invite me for this.
Absolutely. So you and I don't know each other that well. So I was wondering if you could just sort of briefly describe your education and your work background, and what you're doing now, other than making incredible videos on Instagram.
Well, I'm a clarinet trainee, right? Like since I was 10 years old. I started in Colombia in a conservatory there, like high school and classical music training at the same time. And then when I graduated there, I went to Bogota, the capital of Colombia, to study my bachelor's. After that, I met this wonderful woman called Victoria Luperi. She was the former principal clarinetist in Fort Worth. Mm-hmm. And then now is in Pittsburgh as assistant clarinet. She went to Colombia once to some kind of orchestra festival. She was the faculty there. When she heard me, she said, "Edgar, I want you to go to United States. I want you to study there." And of course I say, "Okay, amazing. I want to go to study with you. Please let me know. What can I do?" She said, "No, actually, I don't want you to study with me. I would like you to study with this guy called Yehuda. Contact him, send him videos of you, whatever." So then in that moment, the truth is I didn't know who Yehuda was. I just knew I wanted to go outside of Colombia. And she was like my bridge to, like the one who pushed me go out, whatever. So then I ended up in Los Angeles because of her advice to Yehuda Gilad, USC. I'm very lucky me. Yehuda is just a fantastic teacher, like just an amazing human being. And what he teaches on the clarinet is just remarkable. So happily, I ended up there, and afterwards, I graduated. I went to teach a little bit at Colburn and some programs for youth programs in Los Angeles. After that, I went to Baltimore in 2019 to play as an acting assistant principal. And then I have been in Los Angeles since the pandemic started. So I'm like in a break in the right now. Yeah.
Very
That's
cool.
kind of very summarize what I have been doing with clarinet in my life.
That's awesome. And it's really cool that obviously South America is very ripe with musical talent. I know one of my good friends, Alcides Rodriguez, comes from Venezuela.
Oh, yes.
Yeah, in the the Simon Bolivar Youth Orchestra, the El Sistema program, which is fantastic. And I know that a number of people from the New World Symphony travel to Colombia. There's an exchange program there where they go down to teach. So is that sort of where you met Victoria, or was it a different?
There is an orchestra they're called Youth Philharmonic of Colombia. Youth Philharmonic of Colombia, which is every year like NYO is in America. It's kind of an NYO of Colombia. Like everyone applied to this orchestra, and then you play there for a year. We do normally like a tour in which we are in different hotels, certain time, perhaps 2-3 weeks practicing music, and then after that is 1 month or 1 month and a half tours through the world, to Brazil, to different countries, or sometimes tours in Colombia. That is mostly the orchestra. And then that orchestra reached to different coaches, different very, very well-known instrumentalists for, violinists, etc. In that year, the clarinet teacher was Victoria. So that is where I met her. And because she's also Latin, she's from Argentina, and therefore, so when I was in Colombia, my English was very bad. For the other teachers that were coming, I didn't speak with them as much, but it was just awesome that she was speaking in Spanish, And Colombia, we love Argentinian accent, so of course I just wanted to speak with her all the time, and it was just very cool. That's how I met her.
That's so cool.
She's always so cool with me. She's very, very nice.
Yeah. I don't think I've ever met her, but I know a lot of people that know her, and everyone always speaks so highly of not only her playing, but just her as a colleague. I've actually worked with her husband. He's a conductor. He came and conducted a couple times in Indianapolis, and he's really great as well. So that's great for you, and you came to the United States, and you're living the American dream now, playing in the Baltimore Symphony for a year. And how was that? How was that experience?
The orchestra is a dream, actually. I mean, since I was in Colombia, my purpose, like my goal, the one that pushed me to keep practicing and keep going, and it was literally just to play with better people. That was what I had in my mind.
Yeah.
I just knew this equation. I say, okay, if I am better, I play with better people. If I play with better people, the music can be more fun, and we can speak about music with the people, and also we'll get better pay. Like it's like this kind of equation, right? And when I was in Colombia, it was happening that the better I played with better people I played. But then when I was in America, I just was literally pursuing that, and then I was playing here with very, very amazing people, right? Living in Los Angeles and stuff. So I was kind of very comfy when I was in Los Angeles. I was teaching here, but the chamber music concerts that we're having, like very fun, very, very awesome people I was playing. But then I just had this opportunity to go to Baltimore, and it was like, it came back again when I was a kid, like, oh my God, this is what I really wanted when I was a kid. This is so amazing. Like every single rehearsal, you have to practice so much, and the pressure just because everyone is really try to make amazing music, I really love it. It's so fantastic. The orchestra was really, really fun. Meanwhile, it was happening.
Yeah.
It was really, really fun. Sadly, the coronavirus didn't help as much. And then I'm planning to go to China now. So I might not come back to the orchestra. So, which is a little bit sad because, playing with so amazing people, people who agree with the kind of music that I want to do. So, of course, it's inevitable is the word, that I will be friends with them, right? Like, it's very hard to not be friends with this kind of people who think like me and want to do the music like me. So I'm going to miss them a lot. But I mean, let's see what happens in the future, right? But yeah, Baltimore is just really, really fun. Really, really fun group to play with. Yeah.
Very cool. Very cool. Well, good for you. Good for you. That's really fantastic. And I'm sure you'll have another chance to play with either them or another orchestra. And based on your TikTok videos and the playing that I've heard from you, you're an incredible player. So let's talk a little bit about that. Like, where did you get introduced to these TikTok and Instagram reels? Like, when was the first time you saw one, and then like the idea like clicked in your head? It's like, oh, I can start doing this.
Right. So what happened is, for me, it was not really like that click. Since a while ago, perhaps a little bit like you, I in my mind, I want to do something online because I believe like classical musicians, we are too much in the box, like we just are in one little thing and we are just there. And that is why perhaps sometimes it's very hard for not even individuals, but also big institutions in the classical music world to be heard, by the normal people. You see what I mean? So that's why many orchestras or many institutions have problems, like economic problems and stuff. And for me, the only problem is the visibility. Make sense?
Yeah,
So I
absolutely.
always have had that in my mind. And so that was a while ago, perhaps 2018 or 17, I don't remember. I started to post stuff, like teach a little bit of clarinet here and there, of course, very bad quality. But I just wanted to try to do stuff, like just to encourage perhaps other people to try to copy me or try to do more stuff like that, I always have that in my mind. But of course, I stopped because when I get into Baltimore, it was just super hard. Like,
yeah. For sorry to interrupt, but just for those who haven't played a job like Baltimore, or Indianapolis, or whatever, the first couple of years is kind of sink or swim because you're not only like working and rehearsing every day and there's new repertoire every week, but you're also like learning all the repertoire for the first time. And of course, we all learned it in school or you could practice it, whatever, but you're like experiencing what it's like to play these pieces for the first time. And so it's a lot of, it's like, it's hard to keep your head above water. So I don't blame you.
Week, I tell you, my first week was, I thought I got like 10 years older or something. It was just insane. So much music and, all the people. And I was just nervous. All of these famous people, I'm playing with them and it's just really crazy. And meanwhile, you're like, oh, I'm done with this week. You really pay attention and you have another week, and another week, and another week. I remember my second week, my second week was like 9 different pieces in which we started rehearsal. I totally remember it was third week. Oh, sorry, something happened here. I perfectly remember my third week. We started rehearsals on Tuesday in the morning, and that morning we had some movement of Tchaikovsky fourth and the Rhapsody in Blue, and I was playing principal the whole concert. Rhapsody in Blue. We're playing some Brahms. I don't remember which Brahms overture. And another one for clarinet. What was it? I think it was the it's sleep on my mind. It was like a whole rehearsal full of clarinet stuff. Rehearsal in the morning, concert at night.
Yeah.
Meanwhile, we have the whole program of the whole rest of the week, the normal week, right? It was just I was like, how these people live? Yeah. How they are so normal and everyone like just so okay, whatever. It was very hard, but then that is not the point. The whole point is like. I couldn't do anything online. But then the coronavirus came. And the truth is, like, the first weeks, I just couldn't play clarinet. I was kind of demolished mentally. I was like, oh my God, this is so sad. I just was kind of depressed. I didn't play clarinet in like 2 months, actually. The truth is, I didn't play clarinet at all. But, as a musician, I have been playing so long. And the artistry is like my brain is always thinking what to do. Like, all artists might understand what I'm saying, like start to push your heart. Okay, do something. You have ideas in your brain. Just if I don't burn it, I cannot sleep. Stuff like that. So then I was thinking to come back online, and I start to think about what I did before, the ideas before, right? I was doing like 20 minutes of speaking myself, of teaching a little bit of clarinet, and those things were not very successful. So I was thinking, why was not successful? I start to analyze myself, what was wrong, what did I do wrong, what could I do better in order to have more reach, because the whole point is to have reach in order people to hear me and perhaps copy me, and the whole clarinet thing or the whole classical music start to do the same, right? That was my purpose. So then I start to pay attention to the videos I did before, and those moments when I play, like when I play whatever, the audience was bigger. Like if a video of 20 minutes before had like a 1K views, when I play, it has 10K views, like literally a lot more. Or 20K, for me, 20K was like amazing. Like, how come 20K is insane? Then I saw, okay, I have to play. And then when I have a lot of reach, then I will start to speak. And that was like my purpose. Right now, I don't speak as much. I just play, right? Because I don't have the reach that I want in order to attract more, etc., etc. Well, the whole point is, then I say, okay, well, what do I play? Like, if I just play what everyone else play, I will be just part of the group, of the mass that everyone tried to do, and then like we are going to collapse each other. So it's not going to help to anything, right?
Yeah.
So I don't know. I think I have a friend who told me that TikTok exploding. I say, TikTok exploding? What does that mean? So I said, yeah, just go check videos in TikTok and check it out. So I saw videos. If you have been in TikTok, their videos are so random, right? Like super random. I was like, but what do I do here? Like, I'm not going to dance. I'm not going to do what the other kids do. This is kind of boring. But there's a button in TikTok that you can duet stuff, which is amazing because it's like a chamber music. I thought, oh my God, I can't chamber music with random stuff. I can't do that. With everything I have in my mind, for sure I can. So it was a girl, the first video I think I did, speaking. She was a Korean girl. She was speaking. She's Korean from, lives in Los Angeles. So you have the very jumpy accent of Los Angeles.
Mm-hmm.
And this is something I have done all my life. When somebody speaks, I get the notes. So when somebody speaks, da 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 da. I just always do that. Like, I don't know, it's like a inside joke of myself. I always do it. And this girl started speaking, and it was like so jumpy, so musical, like with cadence and stuff. So we're like, okay, I can do that. So let's do that. Let's see if that people like it. And I did it, and 100K. I was like, oh, shoot, it's really crazy.
Yeah.
So then I had fun. I thought it was very fun because it's something I always do. Literally, when you are speaking to me, I'm literally listening to your notes. Even right now, I don't do it with a video, but that has happened to me all my life, right? I always do this.
Well, maybe when the podcast comes out, you can duet one of these.
Yeah, right. Exactly.
Things with me.
Exactly. Yes, I totally could do it, but because that is something I am used. I use my mind assets, right? So I started to do that in TikTok, and I was successful. And then little by little, more ideas start to come. Like a girl was playing Vivaldi, and I said, okay, what about if I play Vivaldi? I was practicing double staccato. So I said, what about if I just play along here? And it would sound kind of cool, perhaps, who knows, whatever. It's just for me to practice double staccato. So I played, and again, 500K views. It was like, oh, this is insane. So that is what I started. When I did 30 videos in TikTok, I say, okay, what about if I post one of those in Instagram? Like, I never post anything on Instagram. I had like 1,100 followers. So what about if some of them like what I literally was just what about if? And then it was very successful too.
Yeah.
So, and the ideas came literally what I'm telling you, you speak, someone speaks, I say, okay, these notes are kind of fun. I do it. Or, oh, I know, I think this sounds like whatever. So I will do this. Some stuff like that. A little by little, that start to evolve, and of course, I'm doing different stuff now. But just to try to stay with my mind creative and having fun,
Yeah.
So that I change here and there, but mainly that's how it started. It was very random, just because I was very bored and I haven't played clarinet in a long time. That's kind of the whole thing.
Well, one thing I really appreciate about your videos is like it always puts a smile on my face. It's really fun, and it's like
it.
anybody, and I love what you said about like you just like the biggest problem with classical music is like the visibility, and like anybody can watch your videos and have fun with it. They don't have to, like listening to a Strauss tone poem takes a lot more courage and barrier and understanding, than watching you duet, somebody speaking or arguing with each other or something, like that takes no barrier to entry. It's just like, oh, this guy's super talented and he's doing a funny video, And so I love that. And so like part of my next question is, and you kind of still answered it or you just answered it rather, was, so you chose TikTok because like your friend was like, hey, this might be a good opportunity for you to get a little bit more reach. Is that sort of why you went the TikTok route?
Right. I mean, the whole point, I believe, is visibility is the point, visibility. Like, if you really think about it, Sam, the most famous musicians you see right now, they're famous not because they are, of course, they are the best players, right? But there's a lot of best players that I know that they are not that famous. So what is the difference? Literally, is just visibility. Mm-hmm. They have perhaps agents, they have companies behind them, or they're just very pretty or whatever that make put them there in front of the people, right? So visibility is the whole point. There are some people that, for me, my taste, they don't play as well, but they have a lot of reach and so the whole point is literally visibility, how put there. So that was one mistake I was doing before. What I was doing before was things too long, which will not attract people. It will not be very visible to people, right? Mm-hmm. Right now, I don't think my videos has a very good quality of video, for example. That is, perhaps if I get that better, perhaps I will have more visibility. Perhaps, like who knows? But so that is why I choose TikTok. The whole point is that that one has a lot of visibility. The app itself is kind of new, so it was pushing for people, whatever people that put content there is, which is if it is interesting enough, it will push it away. Go for it. Makes sense? It will push you.
Yeah.
And then what happened is that helped me as a little bit like a filter in which I have a lot of videos there that I haven't posted here. But those who I thought people really liked, I put them on Instagram. And so what happened is just people are people, right? Like we are not that, they're just different apps, but finally people enjoy. If they want to enjoy here, for sure, going to enjoy there, because that was my purpose actually with my video. What you said, everyone has to like, not only classical musicians. I know a lot of classical musicians. We are a little bit snobbish.
Yeah,
is the word.
yeah. Mm-hmm.
So that is why I try to do things that I have been training for, like technique and stuff and whatever. So my snobbish classical musician friends don't get bored. But at the same time, I do stuff just for my mom to have fun. But for my sister, who's an architect, she never listened to me playing clarinet. But this one is like, oh my God, this is so fun. Like, it's my sister, right? So if that was happening, that was great for me, because the whole point is to reach to those who are not classical musicians. So we attract, ourselves attract,
Yeah.
So, yeah, for sure.
So
I
cool.
think that was the answer of visibility. That's why I choose it.
Yeah, so cool and good for you. Like it's just you just found something that nobody else was doing, and I think that is the hardest thing, because, like you said, people are unwilling to kind of push the boundaries in our industry with what they're doing, and there's, like you said, there's a little bit of snobbish, whatever you want to call it, but there's a little bit of like, that's too good. We're good. We're too good for that. You know what I mean?
That's what I believe. I believe that happened a lot, which I think is a little bit lame, because think about it. A school have 20 clarinetists every year. Every single year, how many openings are in orchestras, right? Like, 5. So it doesn't matter if everyone is good. Doesn't matter. There is not that many openings, right? So you have to be. You cannot push down the alternative ticket. That would be crazy, because I mean, come on, you cannot do it. Every single year, at least when I was in USC, we were 20 people, and they were graduating 5 or 6, and again 20 people. You see, like, and we were good. Like everyone is insanely good. But there you go. So you cannot close the doors. I think we do close a lot of doors.
Yes, I agree with you, and good for you for not being, or for being willing to not close those doors, and being willing to do something that nobody else has done, and clearly you've been successful with it. I mean, we'll get into this a little bit later, but a number of your videos have gotten like over 1 million views, and at least on Instagram. I don't follow you on TikTok because I don't have one, but on Instagram, a number of your videos have gotten more than 1 million views, which is crazy to me. So
it's really crazy. Like, I can imagine 1 million people actually, and they're watching that, me doing that funny thing. I think I love it. It's so cool. Mostly, I mean, you know what it would be very cool to me, which have been happening, that people say, oh, the clarinet guy. People start to say that I'm the clarinet guy. I love it, because I want people to recognize what is a clarinet. My very beginning videos, they were like, oh, that flute, which still happens. Mm-hmm. Oh, that flute. Oh, that thing. Oh, that thing you're like makes sense. But if you put a violin, everyone say a violin. Everyone put even a cello, a guitar. You see what I mean? But clarinet is always a flute, or that thing, or that tube, or that black. Oh, what is that? So when they start to think about clarinet, and 1 million people are watching clarinet, you see what I mean?
Yeah,
I love it.
Yeah, that's awesome. So when you go about finding videos to duet, are you just kind of scrolling through TikTok and being like, oh, this is interesting? Or do you kind of like want to do a certain category, like you want to do something with an animal or something with a person talking one day? Or is it just kind of like whatever you feel inspired by?
Right. So remember, my top priority is visibility. So I duet. So it means the video that I'm duetting normally have to have visibility already. Because I don't know what people like. I really don't know. I'm a classical musician. I'm in a hole. I'm in a box. I have no idea, literally. I really don't know even the music that is sounding right now. I don't know it. So I'm very ignorant. So what happened is I knew my weakness is that I'm very ignorant of the popular a likeness. I don't know what the word. So what happens is, what I do is I take a video that has a lot of likes, because that means it's approved by society.
Yeah.
Makes
right.
sense?
Mm-hmm.
If it has good likes, it means people like. Sometimes I don't like, but like, why people like this? But I'm not, I am humble. I say, okay, whatever, people like it. That's good. That means. So once the videos are checked by society, I have to think, okay, if it's easy for me to do this, like to do something musical, so what does that mean? It's like, is any song comes to me right away, or there is some pattern, musical pattern that I hear, or something that I can do easily, that I don't want to spend too much time on it. Make sense?
Mm-hmm.
Because there's another disease, we as musicians, classical musicians, we just want to spend too much time with a little thing. But in this one, I know I'm going to get tired. I know I cannot do this many hours. It's impossible. It's crazy, right? I'm going to live in a cell phone watching TikTok. That would be crazy. So then I need something that is going to be fast for me to think about. I have to be approved by people. And once that criteria is made, I choose that video to make something. Make sense?
Yeah.
That's the pattern that I always choose.
Yeah.
Sometimes
really smart.
I have done the mistake many times. There is a video that I really like. I think, oh my God, this video is so funny, whatever. And I do something with that video in TikTok, right? I think it's so funny, the video by myself, and I hear it so well, like a certain melody, or I hear it so, and I do it, and I post it, and the video has like 1K views, which is nothing for TikTok. Mm-hmm. So that means it was not approved. The video that I duetted was not approved by society. It didn't have too many likes, too many views.
Right.
So it means, I'm humble. I say, okay, I was wrong. But I like, I'm just weird. Doesn't like that. Million of people don't like that. It's okay, whatever. I just do the video. It's for fun. But sometimes I do those. Make sense?
Yeah, absolutely. And you have to keep as much as you're doing this for other people, you also have to keep yourself inspired.
Entertained, right?
Yeah.
The whole point started for me to be entertained. Exactly. That was the whole point.
Yeah. So since you post like almost every day, you post at least one video a day, don't you?
Right.
Yeah. So for me, doing that every day, I would seem to come to some mental blocks and stuff. So is there ever a time where you're just like, I don't know what to do, or you find a video that you like and you're like, I have no idea how to duet this, or like, how do you kind of climb over those walls?
Right. So what happened is, there is a guy I love that is called Gary V. I don't know if you have heard. What happened if this guy, he talks a lot about visibility, of course, but then he also talks like quality is subjective, right? Quality is subjective to yourself. Like, this is what I think is good, which happened with some videos, and bullshit. The audience doesn't think so. Sometimes I think this is bullshit and people think this is amazing, which is some of the million views that I have. This is a video that I have is 4.8 million, and I video did it in 1 minute. I thought, oh, this is kind of cool, but 1 minute, literally, and I didn't think about it. I just did it, and I thought it was kind of stupid.
Yeah.
But exploded, means everyone thought it was funny as I thought, but it continued 4.8 million people, or 5, I don't remember. The whole point is that quality is very subjective. Makes sense? Mm-hmm. It's really subjective. For making content, the Gary V said you don't have to be afraid of put bad quality content. Because bad quality is really relative. Like you don't know what does that mean exactly. Makes sense?
Yeah.
So that is why I push myself to do as much as I can. In TikTok, I post sometimes every day 3 or 4 videos in TikTok. And sometimes they're very random, and so they don't get 100 views, only hundreds of views, which is, in TikTok I have 60K followers, so hundreds of views is really bad video.
Yeah.
Makes sense? But whatever, because when I like it, I did it didn't happen. I like it, I did it happened. Makes sense? That's what I think. So the content, I will not have that many million of views if I didn't do a lot of mistakes. Make sense?
Yeah.
Never find those mistakes if I don't post is what I mean.
Yeah.
So of course I have get blocked, and when I'm blocked, I just do a random one, and that day have very bad views. But at least I'm posting and say, okay, people really don't like this. So when I am blocked, my mind is blocked, that they help me to see what people don't like. Makes sense?
Yeah. And
sometimes I'm blocked and I do something and people really like it. Say, okay, so I was blocked for a stupid reason because I can now do this one. Make sense?
yeah, and I really like what you said there, because that was it's always been one of my struggles, is like, if I put something on the internet, all of a sudden I think it has to be really good. It has to be really great.
Right.
Especially like when I'm making my YouTube videos, but I've had to overcome this sort of mental block of like, sometimes you just got to push post and it's going to be totally fine, because every little mistake, if you keep digging at it and digging at it, you're going to pick out every mistake, and then you're just not going to post any content because you're going to be afraid of whatever.
Right.
So
I mean, I totally agree with you. The first part for sure is, I mean, think if there is a very bad camera and a very bad sound, some people are going to get annoyed, right? Like for sure, that's going to happen.
Yeah.
If a lot of people get annoyed, it's kind of cool because it means a lot of people are watching, right? That's good. But then people that listening that what you are saying are kind of the goal. If they are listening, even though the sound or the width of the video is even better, because the moment you get a better sound, it's just going to adapt to the group. Make sense?
Yeah.
So the whole point is, I think, just to pause and don't be afraid. Of course, get better, right? Like, why not to get better? That's something, for example, I have been doing about work. I haven't get better of quality of sound, quality of whatever. I don't know why. Perhaps I'm lazy about it. I'm giving excuses to myself or something. the equipment, but that just happened. But I'm just keep posting. People are going to listen to the Clarinet guy, the podcast guy, and what is he talking about? I like it. He's speaking. I like his voice. I like his looking. I like his jokes. Have you seen this Joe Rogan, the podcast?
Yeah.
It's insane. His mind is insane, and it's the funny thing is actually the comments he does. I don't give a shit about the camera. My microphone sounds very beautiful and whatever, but what he does is just very cool. The little comments. The people who come to speak are so impressive. But doesn't matter because those people go to other podcasts. So what happened with him is like the little comment he gave, the little push. Like, it's so interesting. Makes sense? And then afterwards, he just better quality of everything else. So just post. So if people are listening to this, man, post, or girl, post. Literally, I mean, try to do something different. Something different is what you really like, right?
Yeah.
Don't try. Of course, copying is good in the beginning, but try to do what you really like. I myself, all my life, play clarinet, so I do stuff with clarinet. All my life, someone is speaking, I am doing the notes, do, always. So I just do that, like literally. Someone is doing a nose, and they say, "Oh, that could be that." Literally, that's my mind is doing. So find what that thing you are doing, right? Like you always do with your instrument or your jokes, and I just post. Literally, keep posting. There is a girl in TikTok that has so many millions of views, like 108 followers, 108 followers, called Charlie, and she literally just dance. Is the best dance? I have no idea. She just posts and posts and posts and posts, and she has 108 million. Makes sense? It's insane.
That's crazy.
So there you go. Just post. I mean, Sam, if you can post every day,
oh man, I don't know. That's a lot of work.
But there you go. The most posts, the more visibility, people go to listen to you. Makes sense?
No, I totally agree with you. And I think I need to do a better job doing that, is like, just, even if I think it's not the best quality, just post. Just put it up there, because like you said, more people are going to see it. More people are going to come to it. They may not like every single thing that I do, but that's okay.
Right.
Yeah.
So, that's mainly what I do. Gary Vee says, invent a system of documenting instead of creating, which it means, for example, Sam, this is something very interesting because I've been talking with Ben and with another friend called Michael Yoshimi that I want to do a podcast. I haven't been brave enough as you, but this is my idea. You have to invent a system in which you have your cameras all post, and then perhaps you do it in live, or you just speak. You just speak with the less editing possible, because I 100% sure know that is the worst part, right?
Yeah, for sure. Yeah.
That's the thing that consumes the most. That's why I love TikTok. I don't know nothing. I record, boom, to go. right?
Mm-hmm.
If you can do that in podcast, I'm 100% sure you can call a person every single day. I'm 100% sure.
Yeah.
Every single day you can do boom, go, boom, go, boom, go. Makes sense? If you can edit in 10 minutes, you could do it. So it means what is not working is the system. The system is what is not working. So for everyone at home, invent a system that you can do as less effort in the thing you don't like, which is editing. Some people like editing, so great for them, right? But
Yeah.
I don't. So if I'm 100% sure a lot of people don't. So if you invent a system where you take out that part, if you're interested enough, people are going to listen to you, right?
Yeah.
If you give your truth or what you like, your heart, whatever, people are going to listen. 100% sure.
Yeah, and I agree with you too. And the difference between like where I started with my podcast and where it is now, like I do a lot less editing now. And because
Exactly.
because I was like, the most important thing is just getting it out there. It's not like making sure all of the ums are taken out. So
Right.
it's been
Right.
nice because now I've just been able to do the videos and do that and just like you said, make it more visible and get and I was able to do it more frequently because I wasn't so consumed in all the post work editing of it. So that's been really nice. So what?
100%.
Yeah.
100%.
So what are some of your favorite videos that you've made? I have a couple favorites myself, but I want to know which ones you like. Let's just do like your 2 favorite ones you've done.
This is very funny because I was trying to search for my favorite, and this is what happened. Have you heard that all the parents say, it's very hard to find a daughter or a son, what is it? My children to find a favorite?
Yeah.
It's happened so similar. I know the feeling now, I don't have children, but I know the feeling. Because when I do one video, it's because I really like it. I really like it, I do it, right? So then when I do the next, how do you know if you like most, right? So it's really, really hard. Sometimes I like less some of them. Make sense? That's what I could find. But the one I really like are the one who has the less reach, which is when people are speaking, I am playing behind them.
Mm-hmm.
Like I'm playing their notes, right?
Yeah.
I love all of them. I think they are so funny because I really think they are very funny. But those are the less rich. Like if I have videos that have 100K, 200K, million, 2 million, 3 million, those, the max house is like 100K perhaps, 200K is the maximum.
Uh-huh.
Makes sense? All the rest arrive to 20K, like very bad rich. But I think they're so funny for me. There's my weird classical musician box. So those are my favorite.
That's interesting.
But there you go. This is the one I get a lot of fun with. Tell me yours. I'm very, very curious.
Yeah. So my favorite one is there's this girl who's like moving her head around and it's got like this really cool beat and you play like a Peter and the Wolf.
Right.
It was one of your earlier ones, at least on Instagram. Yeah. I really like that one. And then the other one that I really like is one of the talking ones, and it's the girl with the mud who like digs the goldfish out of the mud.
Oh man, that one is so funny. Oh, I love that. Yeah. That one actually is my favorite. Of the speaking one, that one is this girl is so big. Oh, but that's another topic thing. But the whole point is like she's so big because she was doing kind of similar, but I didn't notice this until a lot later of what I'm telling you that I did.
Mm-hmm.
I chose videos that were very popular and duet, right? She was doing exactly the same, but speaking is more interesting for people, right? Like a stupid Clarinet guy playing notes. Is more interesting. Someone speaking and what she says is very funny. She's very, very creative. But something very interesting with the people of speaking, the very famous that I have found is those who are more famous, and this is going to be very interesting, Sam. I know you're going to love it, and perhaps your audience is going to love it too.
Probably.
The most famous people are those that when they speak, they have a huge intervals. Right. And it's a very funny thing because it's not about your speed. It's not about what you say. It's not about your voice. Some people have very beautiful voice. Some people have very ugly voice that need to very... That will be me. But then doesn't matter. What matters is how big your jump is. Like how big your jumps are. So, and I went to my videos, the ones I told you I did in 2017. I'm speaking about clarinet, and so guys, you have to do this and do that. So I thought they are very interesting information they have inside, but my speaking is a little bit like very, very one note, and a little bit go like a kind of robotic. But the whole point is the intervals are very tiny. Like so then people say, but I'm so introverted. I don't speak with that many intervals or whatever. Like normally extroverted people tend to speak more like that. But this is also bullshit, because if you really think of, you really hear those people that are very calm. Even Yehuda Gilad, when he speaks, he just jump a lot, and then I can speak a lot slower, and it can be interesting. Like I'm just saying my notes, right? But listen to those people who are very, very famous that you really like, and the intervals they use, even from syllable to syllable, are huge. I never one note or a second or a half note is never. It's just very big. It's just very big intervals, and I just found that that's very attractive for the ear. And then if you try to listen to your speaking, if you're at home, try to listen to your speaking, and then try to analyze how many intervals you use, how much you stay in one note, how much you emphasize before you jump or stuff like that. Makes sense? It's just so it's only about jumping. And that thing, for some reason, happened with all the famous people. All the famous people that are famous by speaking is what I mean. Because, for example, there are people who are famous by juggling or by dancing or by a lot of stuff like that. And then sometimes they make 1 or 2 videos of their speaking, and it's like, oh my God, this person is so boring. Keep dancing, is what I think, right? But then what is the boring thing? What they were saying is kind of interesting, is their speaking is just only one note or perhaps two. It's just very interesting. It's a very magical thing.
Yeah, and that doesn't surprise me to hear that, because obviously, like, the more dynamic someone is, the more drawn to that person, because there's more emotional range, right?
Right. That's what I thought it was just about, excited. I know I am very noisy and, very Colombian, and this guy who speaks or whatever. So I thought that was interesting for people, even though I was saying sometimes boring stuff. But that's not, it's just the jumping. It's literally the jumping. Listen to this guy, Morgan Freeman. His voice is is so low. It's really low, right? And he doesn't sound that extroverted. But why he's so famous as a speaker, right? Like his voice is used everywhere or whatever. That guy speaks from one syllable to the other one, an octave on a 12th, so huge intervals, and very slow and very calm. So I cannot even do it. Make sense? So it's just huge. It's unbelievable. So it really doesn't matter about the volume, doesn't matter about the speed, doesn't matter about nothing else than the jumping. I think it's so magical. I mean, that is my theory, and that's what I have been hearing as a classical musician, right? Like, that's what I hear, the notes.
Yeah.
That have been bringing me to speak about a lot of linguists. I have been speaking that like my videos and stuff like that. And of course, they want to give me their knowledge. Like, of course, I know this because and what they say is like, for little kids, we speak a little bit high pitch. Hi guys, how are you doing? Right? Like that was speak for little kids to bring their attention or whatever. But then I wonder if it's not the high pitch, but it's only the jumping. Hi guys, how are you doing? Like, it really doesn't matter, right? It's just literally the jumping.
Yeah.
Hi guys, how are you doing? That's also kind of cool.
Yeah.
So yeah, there you go. There's very, very interesting information that might help not only you, but it helped me. It might help your audience if they want to start to do stuff too.
Yeah, now I'm really self-conscious about it, so thanks for pointing it out.
That's great. That's awesome.
Yeah,
because
good.
Actually, that is what famous people do. I don't know if they train. I don't know if just happen they speak like that by nature. I don't know if they went to a linguistic trainer. I don't know what is the name of that speech. The speech trainers or whatever. Yeah. I don't know, but it just happens.
Yeah, that's really cool. It's really interesting. So finishing up, like, where do you see, I know you said like you're when you're working a job and stuff, it obviously your time is more limited. But where do you see like your Instagram and TikTok, in the next 6 months or a year or 2 years, as like the world has kind of started to come back to normal and you're able to play
Right.
concerts and teach more and do stuff like that? Do you think you're going to continue doing it, or do you think it's kind of just like a fun project for now and you'll go back to it
That's
when
a
you?
very interesting question because I have been thinking about that too. I'm leaving to China. I'm moving. My fiance, she wanted to go to China, so I said, okay, let's go, let's do it. Very adventurous, but at the same time, I don't know how it work my social media from here there. Like I really don't know, right?
Yeah,
So I will say I'm taking it a little bit a step at a time. I have my main goal is to come back what I was doing before, which is teach a little bit about clarinet. Uh, I have the feeling that if more people know how to play better clarinet or are more interested about clarinet, it's going to be good for us clarinetists. So that's why I started my very beginning videos in 2017. Uh, so I would like to do that, not right now, but I would like to do that in the future, perhaps in YouTube, in English, because I was doing it in Spanish, and then, we are so little Spanish audience, so in English might be a little bit better. But those are goals that I have. I want to do a podcast. I want to do more stuff to do about like bringing people to the classical music. But in 6 months, I think I will be perhaps doing the same that I'm doing now, right? Like if I have time. So what happens is this is the cool thing of this. Doing this, I don't get paid. And doing this is free to do it. So if I don't have time to do it, so what the hell? I will not do it. Like,
right.
why will I have to do it? Make sense? Like, why?
Yeah.
There is no one is paying me nothing for doing this. It's just a lot of people like it. That's cool. So if people are happy, listen, we are entertainers. So if people are entertaining with what we're doing, so what? I'm just so very happy. So, but if I cannot entertain them, so what can I do? For now, I will say I might continue doing what I'm doing. I might continue perhaps having more followers, of doing more questions if I can, doing more videos of YouTube, or perhaps my podcast will be on. Who knows? But I would say it's a possibility that if I start to do something else, I could lower down the videos because I will not have time. Who knows? But I have fun with this. You know what I mean? I really have. It's like, for example, I like to play video games. So, but I like to do TikToks too. So, whatever it is, I can play video games every day if even I'm busy, right? So I can make videos if I'm busy too.
Yeah,
that's kind of the thought behind it.
Well, I gotta say, Edgar, I love your outlook on everything, and you really bring a different perspective than like most clarinetists that I talk to. And I love how you're very open and you have varied interests and you have a great sense of humor. And I love what you're doing. If anybody out there is not following him, make sure to follow him on Instagram and TikTok. I believe it's I am Edgar LOP, right? Is that what your tag is?
That would be the short of Lopez.
Lopez. Yep. I am Edgar Lope. So make sure to follow him on Instagram and TikTok. I promise you it is worth a follow. It's I always get a kick out of it every day. I'm always like showing my wife, it's like, look at what he did this time. So it's great. So before we leave, I just wanted to give you the floor if you have anybody you want to thank, or any last bits of advice or anything. Just anything you want to say, you are welcome to say it right now.
Right. Okay, so I am I've been thinking about this so much. That's why I'm going to China even, is huge advocate of you really have to do what you like to do. And that's very, very hard, different ages, because of different stages of the mind. When you are young, you don't know what is that. When you're in the 20s, you are kind of finding it, but you have to think about how you're going to live, earn money in the future. So that is also searching here and there. And when you are like 30s and above, you are perhaps not trying to find it anymore because you have a lot of responsibilities. And perhaps when you get older, even more responsibilities. I don't know, I'm not there. But what happened is, I really believe you have to really try to find what you like as early as possible. And then you have to believe that if you do that a lot, you might earn money and you can have the responsibilities will come doing that thing that you like. Make sense?
Mm-hmm.
I really believe that. So either this goes a lot for instrumentalists actually, because I know a lot of people who play instruments because your mom put you there, or because you think you are not good for anything else, or because perhaps you have been doing that for such a long time and you think you are good on it, so you don't want to escape from that, and then but you don't like it as much.
Mm-hmm.
Makes sense? Like you really have to believe that you really like to do what you are doing, and then once that happens, go for it. Like really go for it. If you don't like what you're doing, let it go. Like literally, don't worry and let it go. Perhaps it's going to be weird in the beginning. Perhaps you're going to, perhaps this might happen. You are going to give up on that and say, oh my God, I screw up. I really like that thing. So it's even better because you are going to really find out that you really like that thing. But I'm a huge advocate of try to find that because, life is short. The pandemic time have taught us that life is really short. And then if you're not doing what you like, it's going to be a really, really bad life. And why would you like to have a bad life? Just better to, be happy and try to be happy at least. Pursue happiness will be that. So for everyone who listening, think about it and follow me on TikTok and Instagram.
All right, buddy. Well, Edgar, I just thank you so much for your time. I know you could probably have spent this hour making some more videos for us to enjoy, but I appreciate you spending it with me. So thank you very much. And
thank you for the invitation.
Yeah, and I look forward to one day being able to perform with you. I hope it happens at some point in time. That'd be a blast. So
it would be awesome.
Yeah, absolutely. So if you haven't had the chance already, please be sure to stop by our website at candidclarinetistpodcast.com, where you can find more information about myself, the podcast, and links to all of our content platforms. Once again, I am Sam Rothstein, and thanks for tuning in to the Candid Clarinetist podcast.